Listen carefully. Everything you think you know about Stoicism is probably a lie sold to you by Instagram philosophers and self-help gurus who never read a single page of Marcus Aurelius. The real Stoicism, it is brutal, uncomfortable, and it will destroy most of your illusions about life. And that is precisely why you need it. You want to know what Stoicism really is? It is not about suppressing your emotions like some kind of emotional zombie. It is not about pretending everything is fine when your life is falling apart. And it definitely is not about becoming an emotionless robot who walks around quoting Epictetus at parties. Stoicism is something far more disturbing and, paradoxically, far more liberating than any of this modern therapeutic nonsense. It is a philosophy that looks at the human condition and says, yes, life is difficult, yes, you will suffer, yes, you will die. Now what? Let me tell you something that will make the positive psychology crowd uncomfortable. The Stoics were not optimists. They were not pessimists either. They were realists who had the intellectual courage to stare directly at the abyss without flinching. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world at his time, wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This man had everything: power, wealth, status, and he spent his time reminding himself that death could come at any moment. Why? Because he understood something we have forgotten in our age of Instagram filters and carefully curated lives. Reality does not care about your feelings. Here is the uncomfortable truth. You are going to lose everything you love. Everyone you care about will die, or you will die first and leave them behind. Your health will deteriorate, your beauty will fade, your achievements will be forgotten. The Stoics did not say this to depress you. They said it to free you. Because once you truly accept the impermanence of all things, once you really internalize that you control almost nothing in this world, something remarkable happens. You stop wasting your energy on things you cannot change, and you start focusing on the only thing you actually can control, your response to what happens. Epictetus, who was a slave before becoming a philosopher, had this to say: "Some things are within our power, while others are not." Sounds simple, right? But we spend most of our lives raging against things we cannot control: the weather, other people's opinions, the past, the inevitability of death. We are like someone trying to punch the ocean, angry that the waves keep coming. Now, let me address the elephant in the room: modern pseudo-Stoicism. Go online right now, and you will find thousands of people telling you that Stoicism is about crushing your goals, dominating your day, and becoming a high-value male. This is not Stoicism. This is capitalism wearing a toga. The Stoics were not interested in success in the modern sense. They were interested in virtue, in living according to reason and nature. Marcus Aurelius could have conquered more territory, accumulated more wealth, but instead he wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Do you see the difference? Modern self-help tells you to change the world to fit your desires. Stoicism tells you to change your desires to fit reality. One of these approaches leads to endless frustration and anxiety. The other leads to peace. Guess which is which? But here is where it gets interesting, where Stoicism becomes truly radical in our current moment. The Stoics believed that virtue is the only true good. Not pleasure, not success, not even happiness in the way we understand it today. Virtue, living according to reason, doing what is right regardless of the consequences. In a world where everyone is obsessed with optimization, productivity, and getting ahead, Stoicism asks a different question. Are you becoming a better person? Not more successful, not more admired, but better. More just, more courageous, more wise, more temperate. Seneca, who was immensely wealthy, wrote letter after letter about the dangers of attachment to material things. He knew from personal experience that wealth does not bring peace. In fact, it often brings the opposite: anxiety about losing what you have, endless desire for more, the corruption of character that comes from having too much power. So how do we apply this ancient philosophy in our contemporary disaster of a world? Let me be blunt. If you are looking for Stoicism to make you more productive or help you win at life, you are missing the point entirely. But if you are exhausted by the endless race, If you are tired of anxiety about things you cannot control, if you want to live with more dignity and less desperation, then pay attention. First, practice the dichotomy of control every single day. When something upsets you, traffic, a rude comment, a rejection, pause and ask, is this within my control? If it is not, you have two choices. Waste your energy being upset about it, or accept it and move on. The Stoics would tell you that getting angry at things outside your control is as foolish as getting angry at gravity. Second, practice negative visualization. The Stoics regularly imagined losing everything they had, their wealth, their loved ones, their health. Why this morbid exercise? Because it does two things. It prepares you for loss, making you less fragile, and it makes you grateful for what you have right now. When you truly contemplate that your loved ones are mortal, that today could be the last time you see them, you stop taking them for granted. You stop wasting time on petty arguments. Third, practice voluntary discomfort. Once in a while, deliberately experience cold, hunger, physical hardship. Sleep on the floor, take a cold shower, fast for a day. Why? Because comfort makes you weak and dependent. When you voluntarily experience discomfort, you prove to yourself that you can handle it. You become less afraid of losing your comfortable life, which means you become less controllable, less anxious, more free. Fourth, and this is crucial, examine your values constantly. We absorb values from our culture without questioning them. The value of being rich, being admired, being attractive, being successful. The Stoics would ask, are these really good things? Is the billionaire who achieved success through exploitation living a good life? Is the Instagram influencer with millions of followers but no substance living well? Or is the person who lives simply, treats others justly and maintains their integrity regardless of consequences, is that person not far richer? Finally, practice memento mori. Remember that you will die. Keep this awareness alive, not to depress yourself, but to clarify what matters. When you really know in your bones that your time is limited, you stop wasting it on nonsense. You stop being afraid of other people's opinions. You stop delaying the things that truly matter. Look, Stoicism is not easy. It is not comfortable. It will not make you rich or famous or universally loved. What it will do is far more valuable. It will make you free. Free from the tyranny of your desires, free from the fear of loss, free from the desperate need for approval. The question is not whether life will be difficult, it will be. The question is whether you will face that difficulty with dignity, with reason, with courage, or whether you will spend your life running from reality, anxiously grasping at things you cannot keep. If this perspective challenges you, disturbs you, or makes you uncomfortable, good. Subscribe to this channel because we are not here to make you feel better. We are here to make you think deeper. Share this video with someone who needs to hear these uncomfortable truths. And leave a comment telling me, what is one thing you are trying to control that you need to let go of? The Stoics are waiting for your answer. And so am I. Remember, you do not have control over what happens to you, but you have absolute control over how you respond. That is not just philosophy. That is freedom.